You hit 40 and the world starts trying to hand you a storyline you never auditioned for. Like you're supposed to panic buy a new life, question every decision you've ever made, and quietly accept that your best years are behind you. And then there's the subtle messaging. Act your age. Don't wear that. You're not young anymore. You should be grateful for whatever you've got. No. Let me say this clearly. Our 40s are not the beginning of the end. They're the power-up level. This is the decade where we stop performing and start choosing, where we stop shrinking and start owning, where we finally step into a version of ourselves that's not built for approval, it's built for peace, strength, and freedom. So if you're approaching 40 or you're already in it and you feel like you're barely keeping it together, this is your new operating manual. 4 pillars, simple, practical, no fluff. Let's go. Pillar 1, the body upgrade. The biggest mistake women prove they can make in their 40s is trying to treat our bodies like they're the same bodies we had at 25. Because they're not. And that's not a bad thing. But the rules shift, especially with hormones, stress, sleep, and that metabolism that suddenly starts acting like it needs permission to cooperate. In our 20s and 30s, a lot of us were trained to chase one goal: smaller. Smaller waist, smaller number, smaller appetite, smaller presence. But thriving in your 40s requires a different target: stronger. Strong enough to carry your life without breaking, strong enough to move without pain, strong enough to feel confident in your skin again, not because of a scale, but because you feel capable. Here's the truth. Muscle is not a fitness trend, it's insurance. And if you're thinking, I don't want to get bulky, good news. That's not how it works. Resistance training in your 40s is about protecting your bones, supporting your joints, keeping your metabolism more stable, and giving your body the structure it needs to feel good. And the secret weapon? Mobility. Because stiffness in your 40s isn't just aging, it's often stress, plus sitting, plus not recovering. 10 minutes a day of stretching or yoga can change how you wake up, how you walk, how you carry yourself. Your joints need oil. Give it to them. And yes, sleep matters more now. Not because you're older, because your body is smarter now. It responds to what you consistently do, not what you occasionally punish it with. Pillar 2, the mental reset. Let's talk about the midlife slump, that season where you're doing everything, working, parenting, supporting people, managing schedules, handling crises, and somehow still feeling like you're behind. Like the to-do list grows overnight. Like everybody needs you. And somehow your needs got pushed to the bottom of the pile again. If you felt that, listen, you're not broken. You're overbooked. And you're on schedule. There's a reason so many women hit a mental dip in midlife. We're squeezed from every direction: career pressure, family responsibilities, aging parents, changing bodies, changing identities. And you're expected to handle it all gracefully, quietly, and with a smile. But thriving in your 40s isn't about handling more. It's about the power of one word: no. In your 20s and 30s, you were trained to say yes. Yes to opportunities. Yes to being the dependable one. Yes to being easygoing. Yes to overextending. Yes to proving you're worthy. But your 40s? Your 40s are about curation. You don't have the bandwidth for what drains you. You don't owe everybody access to your time. You don't need to justify protecting your peace. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. That's not selfish. That's survival becoming strategy. And that boundary? That's where your new happiness lives. Pillar 3, career pivot and financial reality. Here's something women are finally saying out loud. A lot of us hit 40 and realize we've been doing what we're supposed to do, and it still doesn't feel like ours. We climbed the ladder. We got the degree. We showed up early. We worked hard. We were loyal. We were consistent. And then we looked around and thought, wait, is this it? And right now, the trend isn't just quiet quitting, it's strategic pivoting. Because at 40, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. You have wisdom, you have skills, you have pattern recognition. You know what works and what doesn't work, and you know what you're no longer willing to tolerate in a workplace. Thriving in your 40s means leveraging your value. Maybe that looks like asking for the raise you've earned. Maybe it looks like applying for leadership. Maybe it looks like switching industries. Maybe it looks like consulting. Maybe it looks like building a side hustle that turns into your main thing. Not because you're behind, because you're finally awake. And financially, this decade is the get honest decade. Not panic, just clarity. If you've been avoiding retirement, debt, or budgeting, I need you to hear this. The anxiety of avoiding the numbers is worse than the reality of them. A plan feels like power. Even a simple one, pay down high-interest debt, automate savings, create a cushion, will calm your mind. And calm is a form of wealth. Pillar 4, the relationship edit. Let's talk relationships, romantic and social, because this is where the 40s glow-up gets real. In your 40s, your tolerance for drama, inconsistency, and one-sided friendships hits 0. And that's not bitterness, that's wisdom. You stop chasing people who only call when they need you. You stop being the friend who always understands but never gets understood. You stop shrinking your needs so other people can stay comfortable. Thriving means choosing quality over quantity. A smaller circle, a safer circle, a circle where you don't have to perform. And if you're in a relationship, your 40s will expose everything. Because you're not interested in potential anymore, you're interested in patterns. You want effort, consistency, emotional safety, respect. And if you're single, let me say this clearly. Being single in your 40s is not a failure. It can be peace, it can be growth, it can be clarity, and it can be a decision to stop settling. You don't need someone to complete you. You need someone who complements the life you've worked to build. The bottom line, your 40s are not a waiting room for old age. They're the sweet spot where confidence finally catches up to competence. You know who you are, you know what you can do, and you know what you won't accept anymore. That is power. So stop apologizing for your age and start leveraging it. Now, I want to hear from you. If you're in your 40s, what's the biggest change you made that helped you thrive? Drop it in the comments. Let's build the manual together. If this gave you a boost, like and subscribe for more no-nonsense guides to living better. Go crush your week.